How you going, guys? Welcome back to Fat Fords and an episode of me fixing my stuff-ups. Yep, I was really worried about this eyebrow mold situation and the way the grille fitted on the front of the car. And, yeah, so I thought I'd have to come in today and try to tackle it and try to sort it out. And I wasn't looking forward to it because I sort of had pictures in my mind of me cutting out welds and redoing the whole eyebrow thing. And yeah, so anyway, as it turns out, I found a shortcut. And yeah, maybe some of you would agree with it, maybe some of you won't. Each to their own. You know, you do what works for you, right? So this seemed to work for me, and the end product is basically the top of the guard is, you know, it's fairly flush. It's going to need a little bit of filler or lead. The side of the guard where it comes down around the edge of the eyebrow mold, that's going to need lead. But what I did basically is I built up the top and outside edge of the eyebrow mold with a bit of square stock. It was actually round stock, but I ground 4 sides into it, so it made it square stock, about 4mm by 4mm, and basically laid that across the top edge right at the front of the eyebrow mold. And that being you know, something that I could sort of shape with the grinder and everything else, so, and then laid in a bit of sheet metal behind it. So anyway, I got a bit of time lapse of that, and we get to fit the grille. Can sort of see exactly what's going on with the driver's side, the way that didn't fit right, and it was definitely different to the passenger side, the guard that is, or the eyebrow mold. I think it's probably like a bit of a shout out to XA Coupe guy. Thanks, Graham. I think that you were probably right. I think that I probably copied an eyebrow mold that was probably slightly bent. Couldn't see it, didn't pick it by looking at it, and yeah, so as it turns out, it looks like that's probably what happened. And yeah, so I think you're right about that, Graham. And also another thing is, Graham left a bit of a comment there about you know, trying to avoid moving the grille, and I think you're right. I think probably what I'll do, I've sort of, you know, test fitted the grille. I opened the bonnet a few more times, and I could see that it's hardly touching at all. We're talking 5mm. So I think that there's a section there, the inner structure of the bonnet, right at the very front, where I could probably scallop that a little bit and give myself clearance. But before I look at doing that, probably what I'll do is finish my radiator support, or finish or fabricate something. Anyway, I couldn't use the original Falcon radiator support because the front sort of like rose up. If you know those Falcons, they come along and then they rise up and then go across the top of the radiator. And with that Mustang bonnet, that doesn't allow for that. It just won't fit. So my radiator support is basically going to have to go straight across, and then we'll work out what we're doing with the radiator later. I'm not using a Falcon radiator, I'm using a late model Mustang radiator, so we might be able to lower it or whatever. We'll figure it out later. The main thing is that the bonnet fits, the grille fits, and all that sort of jazz. So anyway, big shout out to Graham for your help. You're always a lot of help. You have good advice, Graham. And anyone that's watching this who isn't already subscribed to Graham's channel, you should get over there. XA Coupe guy. He's XA Coupe guy on YouTube. Or Graham's Restorations. He's on Facebook as well. So get over and have a look at what he does. Graham's great with all his rust repairs and panel beating work, and yeah, he's a real craftsman and quite a character. So loves to have a chat, and it's quite interesting to listen to, and he's got a lot of knowledge, especially when it comes to these coupes. So anyway, let's get on with this. I've got a little bit of time lapse, a little bit of mucking around fitting things, but yeah, nothing too interesting, just basically digging myself out of a hole. So anyway, hope you enjoy, and we'll get on with it.
White snow, red sky, reach up for so high, blue eyes, fake cry, beware of the fox tonight. Cold feet, dark rain, my blood in your frozen veins, dream high, no pain, run fast in broken chains. cry too old.
Right, so I thought I'd just sort of explain what I did here to try to fix this, to remedy this eyebrow problem. I just ground down a bit of round stock and made it square. So it's probably about, you know, 4.5, 5 mil. And I'm just welding that right on the edge of the eyebrow. And then I've got a little bit of sheet metal which is cut 25 mil wide, and that's just going to basically sit between there and where the original join is, because it did sit down slightly, maybe a mil or so, and so that's why I thought I'll just do this, because at first I thought I would add this bit of square stock on the front, and then it would give me like a, almost like a dam. If I wanted to lead wipe it, having that on the front would, you know, just help me sort of fill it with lead. But then I thought, well, why don't I just weld a bit of plate in there, and I won't need so much lead if that's what I'm going to do. So that's how I started doing it. That's why I started doing it, I mean. So yeah, so I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to tack in this and then weld the sheet metal, and as you would have seen from the from this one, basically just sort of blend it in, and then yeah, there is a hollow point there, and that's probably what I'll just lead wipe. So that way I'm not sort of having to do too much filling. Now, it was probably the easy way out, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, I thought about, you know, splitting this whole thing open again and whatnot, but I just kind of thought, nah, I think I'll just do what sort of seems easy and natural to me, or just what sort of seems the most logical, and that is just to build up the top, which is low. So, and I've already kind of done the alterations on the side here, and I found that it was different to the other side. So I cut like this template is for the other side, and as you can see, that pretty much sort of fits in there now. Well, you know, almost. Got to grind it off, obviously, but I made a template, you know, before I did the alteration, and you can see the gap at the bottom there. So that was basically curling in towards the grill, and that was what was making it look strange when I was fitting it the other day. So pretty much on the right track now. So we'll just keep going. So it's pouring with rain here, so it might be a little bit hard to hear me, so I'll just make this quick. Yeah, basically I've got this where I need it now. Blended that top in, and then down the side I've got the, you know, the front edge here is built up to the right level, and then I've just basically blended it into where the original eyebrow mold was that I made. So there's obviously a depression there, and I mean my plan was just to fill that with lead. So I don't really feel comfortable, you know, filling it with body filler, and I know I could probably, you know, do the right thing and cut it out, build it up to the correct level, but you know, what's the difference? It's solid metal and it's going to have lead over it either way. So, and yeah, I've got the contour that I want. It's still got some finishing off. I still have to finish off around the bottom, but basically I've got the shape and the contour that I want now. So let's get this template. So this was how it originally looked, and you can see the gap that was there. And this template I took from the other side, and so as you can see, pretty much matches in. So happy days, should be all good to go now. And I can't really finish it off on the inside edge because obviously the bonnet's in the way. So pretty much have to remove the bonnet and finish off this here. I might have to scallop out a little bit just underneath in the frame of the bonnet just so it clears the grille. I tried it again after refitting the grille, this time having the front stone tray bolted on properly. I found that this part of the radiator support that comes in behind the headlight bracket was actually bent forward compared to the other side, so I managed to get that sort of knocked back into position, which meant that this part of the grille sits in further, so it's looking a lot more balanced now. Yeah, so I've kind of just basically fixed my problem, and now it's just tidy up work to do. So, well, the only other thing is this part here, which originally had the bonnet catch on, that's meant to be bolted back to the top of the radiator support originally, but because I've cut that out, I'm going to have to fabricate a new piece. I cut it out because it was too high for this Mustang bonnet. I don't know why, the bonnet's so high around the engine, but it comes in low just up the front here. So yeah, I'm just going to be making something, basically it's just going to run straight across. The original Falcon ones, they sort of like stepped up. Well, this one that I'm making is just going to run straight across, and then I've got to tie that back into it. And then I'll keep refitting the grille and testing the bonnet as I go. So I think I'll probably do that next. Yeah, I think I'll do that next. Get that radiator support thing sorted out, because that way I'll know where the final position of the grille is at, and then I'll know what to do with the bonnet. So I think that's probably a plan. I was going to be doing these guards. I did talk about that, but just not ready to yet. I'm going to get all this front end sorted out, and then I'll do those guards, and obviously the sill. So there's still a teeny weeny little bit of work left to do on this car. When I stop farting around up the front there, I'm going to have to come up the back here and sort this out, because I've got to basically build myself a rear floor. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this time, so hope you enjoyed that, and we'll cop you next time.